Today's video is going to be about replacing the drain pump motor in this Samsung washing machine. This is not a tutorial video. People just like watching me work on crap, and today I've got this thing to work on and replace the pump motor. This thing was throwing an error code and wouldn't spin and wouldn't finish its cycle, and it did that a few different times. So after a quick search, I figured it's probably that motor, as I took the motor out and well, here's the motor. And here's the pump assembly. This is not a tutorial video. If I was to give any advice on this repair, it's not buy this piece of shit Samsung washing machine. This thing sucks. It's broken numerous times. It's 7 years old, but it didn't take 7 years to start breaking, that's for sure. This thing has broken quite a few different times. The Samsung dryer has also broken before multiple times or wouldn't shut off. And the Samsung ice maker in the fridge is broken too. So all this Samsung crap just does not last. So I've already disassembled the thing. The front had to come off to get the front off. This control panel had to come off to get that off. This had to come off. And then once the front was off, I took the door off to make it easier and had to get this rubber piece off in order to get that off. And to get that off, you have to take off this this ring that is spring-loaded to hold the rubber around this guy here. And once that was off, I could disconnect all these 3 drain hoses, as well as the power here. This particular pump, this is a 120 volt one, so I've ordered a replacement for this. You have to be careful to get the right one. There's various different pumps, and some are 12 volt, some are 120 volt, and you certainly don't want to put one on the wrong voltage. So this pump does run, but it makes bad noises, and it doesn't seem to be 100%. So I'm hoping that is the issue. A separate issue with this machine is it's tripping the breaker on certain occasions, which is a concerning issue, and is that related to the pump? I'm not sure. Once again, this is not a tutorial video, just a video of me working on stuff because people seem to like to watch it. I already took the thing apart because I had no idea what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing putting it back together, but at least I'll have more of an idea. Also, in order to take the front panel off, you have to take this lock assembly off. So this is the door lock, as well as a door position switch. Not only the soap tray door thing has to come off, but this actual inside piece of it also has to come off. The back part, that doesn't need to come off. That was just something because I opened that yesterday to get a better look inside there. And the top, though, does have to also come off, I should mention. And don't be alarmed when you take the pump out. That the water in that pump smells fucking terrible. So it's disgusting. It's really bad. And this pump assembly does detach, or sorry, the motor part right here. This is the motor, 120 volt. This, with these 3 screws, detaches from the pump assembly itself right here. Because when you order a new pump, you don't get this. So don't throw this out. You just get this motor here, which I'm also not sure if this is normal for this much play. I don't know if the bearings are shot. Hear that noise, that clicking? But it was also stopping momentarily for a split second. You could barely see it stop when it was. So I've got new motor here, old one here. I got it hooked up to the old one. I'm going to see how this one sounds, see if we can see any difference. You can probably hear and see that it momentarily stops, and it's got a bit of a crackling sound. So I'm going to switch this over to the new motor. See if it seems any different or not. Definitely seems quieter. So again, I'm not 100% sure if this is the issue, but we're going to start with this and see if this solves our issues. Okay, so getting started here, I'm going to attach the new motor to the pump assembly. So this was facing this way when it was installed. So which way could the motor line up? I'm going to say that way. All right, now to try and get this pump back installed, I'm going to start by actually mounting it in here, and then I'll put some of the various hoses in place. And before we secure it, I'm going to connect the electrical, which does look a little bit different. So we had this connection right here, and this connection right here. I don't see how the old one fit, so I'm going to see if this one's going to somehow work that I just took off. Yeah, I guess that'll work. Okay, so on the back here, we had this hose that went on right here. Okay, and then this guy needs to go onto here. This hose here needs to go onto this guy. And that's it to go onto there. So that has all these 3 hoses reinstalled with the drain pump in and the electrical in place. So that should be all good there. Now I'm just putting this back together, reverse of how I took it apart. And the last thing that came off before that was the main front cover thing. And to get that off, there's this spring-loaded band that wraps around this guy as well. So we need to get this guy back in place here. This little hose will stick through here, and this locking mechanism over here also needs to come back on. So I'm going to align that up. So this guy's currently upside down. It needs to be around this way. And if you grab it from the inside here, that is easier. Spinning around here, this position switch, door position switch goes on, and I have a screw to go in right there. Then down here, the 2 screws that hold that on first go through this trim piece here, which this little clip goes into this skinnier slot right there. Put the other side in first, then that one will snap in place like that, and that will pull flush once I install the screws. Okay, now to get this properly on, it needs to sit in the right spot down here. Down here where that screw sticks through, that needs to sit on top of it because this screw hole needs to line up so that can get screwed on. And on top, this will push into position and these will lock it in, which the one got bent down, so I'm going to bend that back up. Almost there. Could use a little bit more. A bit more. Yeah, that's good. The screws will hold it in anyways. It's just nice to have a little more. This is a little tricky. I'm actually looking through the camera. This thing here can go back. We don't need that anymore. So this little door can go back on here. Somehow, this thing's a little stupid, just like the rest of this thing. 4 screws up here can go back in. Here, we can put the rubber back on here. So this, you kind of gotta be careful not to rip it, but it needs to go around this lip. Okay, so that's all on. So now this band can go in this groove here. This little groove in here is where that metal band sits. So now that this is all done and the door won't be in our way, we can put the door back on. Which when I was taking the door off, I learned it doesn't just come straight off, it actually slides downwards. Okay. So before we can put the soap thing back in, we gotta put this front panel back on, which does have this electrical connector right here, which will connect to this guy right there. This can go back in its clip. And this guy, it does slide into the bottom first. Problem might be the soap thing that we need to loosen here. I think if we loosen that first. Pull that back. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now we can put this guy back. That's snapped there, so that should be good. Why are you still being an asshole? Oh, come on, you piece of crap. Kind of got to support the thing from underneath just to get it in here. There we go. So that little slider needs to clip in up top. Then I'm going to put the screws back in. Got one here. That's stripped out. There's no point of that. That one's good. That one's good. I didn't put the stripped out screw in because this thing rattles around enough. It'll take, after so much time, the thing will probably pop out of there and then turn into another thing rattling around. Now that that's on, the soap tray thing can go in, which to get it out, you have to press down on this thing. Should just slide back in. then it's got this thing, which to get this off, it's also got these tabs at the bottom that you have to get under here and press in with a screwdriver. Okay, and now the top of it, I guess. That'll slide under here. Then at the back here, there's these two. Stripped again, big. I'd probably strip because the thing's not stripped too. Probably stripped because the thing's been opened 10,000 times. Then we've got this back cover here. So this won't work that way. Okay, so you slide it up and then slide it down into there. You know what? Now I know why those didn't go in. It's got these bigger bolts left behind, so those are probably meant to go in the top. And take these ones that didn't want to work in here. And there's not a spot down here for them, so somewhere along the lines we missed some bolts. Took the top back off, and I see we do have one missing one right here. Wrong way. And the other missing one was been the stripped out one for this soap holder thing. Okay, top's back on. See if these bigger ones fit better. Ah, they're still stripped anyway. Oh well. And I'm gonna plug the thing back in. Turn the water back on. And I'm gonna push the whole thing back in a little bit. This thing's feet are so grippy. This one's tip over on me. That's enough for now. I just wanted to re-secure this drain hose here. Okay, so if the pump's the problem, it should be working now because pump's replaced. That old pump didn't seem right. I just don't know if that's the whole problem. I still don't know what the deal is with tripping breakers. I don't know. It was that guy there. I don't know if it was tripping this on arc fault or on overcurrent. But I could do an amp draw on it to see if that's the issue. But it's only at specific times, so it'd probably be hard to catch. I wonder if it'll spin. Spin only? Extra spin? Okay, well. Is it gonna spin? I don't know. Scared me. Locked. It's like a jump scare. Did it actually lock? Yes, it did. That's good. Okay, it's spinning. So that's a good sign. Because it wasn't spinning before. But now it stopped spinning. To be honest, I have no idea. I was just told laundry machine's not working. Every time I use this thing, all I do is put it to normal, turn it on, and watch it do its thing. I'm not a laundry machine expert. But it is spinning. So let's ask someone that knows. Mom! Can you come look at this thing? Okay, it's pumping out right now. I can. No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it was pumping out. It stopped before. The big test will be if it makes it past 12 minutes, because before it kept getting stuck at 12 minutes. It wouldn't go any further. But it was just pumping. Yeah. Is that filling or emptying out? No, it's filling up.
Yes.
I think that was the hot. I'm not sure it stopped actually. Yeah, now it's taking the cold in more. So what is it? It's rinsing, or is that what it's doing now? It was just spinning. Okay, now it's draining water. Yeah, I can hear it. It's definitely draining water. So that pump is working. If the last one was too, though, or not, I'm not sure. Made it 10 minutes. Is that a record?
Yes.
Well, so far this thing seems to be working better than it was before. Made it to 10 minutes, which is a lot because it seems to be that last drain cycle before the spin, or rinse cycle, where then it needs to drain, where last time it was getting too full, so you had to pull out this thing and drain it manually to get it to go anymore, which is what made me think this pump wasn't working. Plus, when you looked up the error code, it said possibly the pump. So I don't know, is that the pump? Yeah, that pump's running again. So okay, I think the pump just stopped. Now is it on again? I don't know what this thing's doing, but it seems to be going okay. We've finished, so it seems to be okay so far. Okay, so it did finish that cycle and didn't drain, and it did drain everything like it was supposed to do. So I think, for as far as I can tell, that did fix it. So I guess that drain pump was the issue. Alright, that's going to be it for this video working on this stupid laundry machine. I'm sure it won't be too long until the next one's out, because something else will break on one of these Samsung appliances soon. So anyways, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching.